This part of the course, I'm gonna be showing y'all how to edit. I'm gonna be showing y'all how to edit in two programs. It's gonna be Final Cut, which I have right now, and it's gonna be Capcut. The reason why I'm gonna do both is because you can only use Final Cut on iMacs or Apple devices. If you don't have an Apple device, I would recommend using Capcut, but I recommend using both of them because they both have different features. So yeah, before we get into editing, I have to recommend Artlist. It's not a sponsorship. Hopefully I get sponsored in the future, but it's not a sponsorship. It's just what I use. You get what I'm saying? This is what I use to get all of my music. If you want to be a content creator, do not download music off of YouTube. Even the music that is copywritten or is copyright free, sometimes it does. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I would say don't take the chance. Just pay the fee every month so you don't have to worry, because you don't want to, when it's time to get monetized and YouTube checks your page, you got a bunch of copyright stuff and they end up denying you from the partner program. So Artlist is what I recommend. It has really good music on there. What I'm doing is I'm actually editing for a client right now, so I'm showing y'all me editing for real, and this is the actual music that I'm gonna be using. So yeah, I'm just listening to different tracks, seeing what I like. The most important part about editing, I think, is the selection of the music, because the music you select is gonna determine how fast, how slow the pace of your editing is gonna be, or if it matches the vibe. If the song doesn't align with the video, it's gonna throw the whole thing off. So take your time to select your music. I just found this song. Like, this is really dope. Alright, I'm gonna definitely use this one. Go ahead, download that. Alright, so we got the music. What we wanna do now is load all the files and create a project. Create the project name. So go to File, New, Library. So what the library is basically a library of files. So you could put a bunch of different projects in one library. So if you're working on, say, a fitness video, you're working on a running video, all of that could be in the same library. So you could just switch between each video. Alright, I want to save it on my hard drive. These are the SSD drives I was telling y'all about. Way smaller, way more compact. You don't need the big hard drives that, you know, mess around and ruin all your edits and all your files you've been working on. So get those SSD drives. Okay, so the brand I'm shooting for is She Is Bomb. I'm editing a bunch of different videos for them, and I'm about to show y'all something I call batch editing. I don't call it that. Everyone calls it that. It's called batch editing because as a content creator, you cannot edit one video at a time. You'll never be done. You'll never be done, period. But you definitely not gonna be done if you just go on project by project by project. So let's go to new project. I'm editing vertically. Usually it's like this, like, so you could come in here if you want to edit vertically. Always go to the highest setting for the resolution. If you're doing YouTube, go to 4K. Always make sure it's on 24. If you ever see those videos that's moving like super fast and it looks kind of weird, it's because people have it on the wrong setting. It's on like 60. So keep your timeline on 24 frames. Yeah, so you're just gonna name the project She Is Bomb. All videos. June 10th. Alright, so to get the files, you can either you could just go in here and just drag the footage or you could go to File, go to Import Media, then you're gonna find the alright, so over here, these are all the devices, the SSD drives I was telling y'all about. Yeah, so you just go all she is bomb, import. I don't know why this happens. This has been coming up for me since I've been using Final Cut. Don't pay no mind to that. Just skip it. Alright, so this is gonna be the first video. This is gonna be the second video. If you haven't gotten it already, all of these spots are gonna be on there. So all the locations I shoot at, you're gonna see inside the location guide. And share in the community what's your experience shooting at these spots, and let me know. Alright, this is gonna be another video. I'm gonna just copy everything and drag it down. I already hear my computer making noises. Maybe don't try to edit a whole hour worth of footage just to give your computer like a chance to process everything. But yeah, alright, so let's start with the first one. Alright, so the point of this video is she's using a product and showing that even though she's riding with hair blowing in the wind and all that, her hair still stays intact. So this is the first thing I do. I'm not going to use the audio from any of these. So you highlight everything and go to sound. That way you erase all the clips instead of let me show you. Instead of just taking it off one by one. See, my computer moving slow because I want to edit all 100 videos at the same time. But alright, yeah, this is another way. Let me show y'all. And this is to like make your timeline bigger or smaller. So as you can see, it's 0 dB. This is what the audio should be. If you want to turn it down to hear yourself talk while the music is in the background or something, you can turn it down. If you want to make it louder, you can put it up. Or if you want to take it off completely, you could do that as well. Alright, so but yeah, that's just the quickest way to get all the music off. So now alright, so look, I found this like jungle vibe type instrumental for this one. I'm gonna tell y'all now, this video gonna be crazy. Wow, touching the leaves. Yeah. Alright, so that's perfect. I got that song. I got this song. I feel like this matches too. Hold on. Alright, cool. So now that we got the music, this is what I usually do. I want to go through all the files and select the parts that I like. And the way how I do that, I just let it play. Alright, y'all hear how the instrumental kind of start off? That's how most music is gonna start. And then there's gonna be a drop in the beat. When the drop happens in the beat, that's when you gotta start doing the transitions and the different things to like hit just like the music. That's all that matters. So what you could do ahead of time is you could mark where the drop is gonna be before you start editing. That's all that matters. So as y'all can see, the music is highlighted yellow. That means I'm gonna mark it on the music. Alright, so it wasn't a crazy drop, but you know, we'll work with it. As you can see, there's this marker on the music because I highlighted the music. Now if you want the marker to be up here, just highlight whatever clip you want to mark. So we'll just use that as like a placeholder. Then we're gonna watch the clips. You can still play the music just for the vibes, you know what I mean? That's all that matters. If you want to save time editing, you the one that shot the clip, so you understand where the parts are gonna be at. You don't have to watch the whole thing. Like I got her putting this on. Boom, that's good. I don't have to watch the rest of that clip. Now let's get her putting the helmet on. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. Boom, that's it for that. Can you take me higher? Can you take me higher? I'm gonna show y'all how to put all this in slow motion, but we're not gonna worry about that for now. Alright, as y'all can see, this is yellow. This is like a magnetic type of I forgot what this is called, but you don't want that. Just take that off. This is the magnetic symbol, so it kind of automatically goes to where it thinks you want it to go. I usually never ever use that, so whenever you see it yellow, you can just take it off because you're probably not gonna use it either. Alright, so we got her putting on her gloves. Now I'm gonna get her getting on the bike. So little clips like this could be just leading up until the drop, and when the drop happens, that's when you will see her on the road. Will be the main shots of her in the street riding. So I would say I'd start it there. So I'm gonna match up the drop with that. Most of y'all don't have to do this because if you're doing YouTube, you're not gonna have to edit it like an ad like I'm doing. But I'm just showing y'all how I edit in real time. So but if you want to drop stuff for Instagram and TikTok, then this might be helpful. Like I always say, one of the easiest ways to save time while editing, because that's the number one way people quit, the number one reason people quit, because it's so time consuming. You really don't have to watch all of your clips. You don't have to watch all of your clips. You're the one that shot it, so you know if it's good or not. You know, I know this bridge is gonna be good. I could just kind of skip through it. I didn't really like these parts of her in the street. Well, you know, I could use maybe a second of it. Alright, so I pretty much got all the clips I need. Wait, no. There's some other clips, but I'm not gonna show y'all everything. But yeah, so when I get the clips, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna, if you wanna extend the timeline, you can do this. And then you can cut like that. So you can press B for blade and just use that to cut. P for point to get back to the arrow, or you can press A for arrow. Either one works. Wait. Yeah, if you don't remember, you could go here. It's gonna show you all the different tools. So A for arrow, P for position or point, B for blade. So if you want to cut something, just press B. Boom. So you're gonna press P again to get back to the point, and just delete what you don't want to use. Be careful of spaces in your footage. As you can see, yeah, sometimes when you edit, there's like a little black space that you might not see, like, and then when you export it, you're gonna end up seeing this black. So make sure you delete that. Alright, yeah, so we just cutting out the footage that we want to use. I'm not gonna edit the whole video. I'm gonna move on to something else to kind of show y'all. Alright, so let's just go over the whole interface of the software. Alright, files. Like I said before, these are where you, if you want to start a new library, this is the library right now. So inside the library, I could start new projects. I want to export all the videos vertically, so I'm gonna go here. Alright, so I'm editing in this timeline, right? Let's say that I want to export just the bite video. So you can copy this, or you could just cut it. I'm gonna copy it for now. Boom. Paste as connected clip. And now you have that in its own video. You can export this by itself. So, alright. So yeah. Remember, library is where you keep all of the files. Project is each individual file that you want to export by itself. So you can edit everything together just to save time, and then you could create a separate project to edit that by yourself, or export that when you're done. Alright, I show y'all the tools: select, trim, position, blade to cut. The more y'all edit, y'all gonna see how simple it is. The most you're gonna be doing, especially if you are working on YouTube, is just cutting. Like, oh, that's the hardest part. Like, not the hardest part, but that's what you're gonna be doing mostly. Luckily for y'all don't have to do complicated edits. Like, I started with music videos, so I had to know like all the craziest transitions and all the crazy stuff. Y'all don't have to do that unless that's what you want to learn for. In that case, all the effects are gonna be here. I will say Final Cut does not have the best effects. I wouldn't recommend really using any of these, to be honest. But let me see if there's a few in there. I really never use them. Honestly, Capcut has a lot more options and a lot better options. There's like almost nothing in here that I would ever use. Same for the transitions. These are the transitions. Let me show y'all. These are the transitions. You can download some cool transitions, but you have to pay for them. That's why I don't really use Capcut for effects like that or transitions. Yeah, but these don't come with the program. You have to download these separately, pay for them, and all that. Capcut, you don't have to pay for anything extra. Just get the pro version for like $7, and you get hundreds of effects, hundreds of transitions. But yeah, they claim that Final Cut is the more professional software, and I still use it because this is how I started. But you honestly could just use Capcut. Alright, so these are all the effects over here that we're not gonna use because they're terrible. I would say, no, these are actually the transitions. One transition that I would use is this. It's just a simple fade. Like if you're trying to transition into another clip. Yeah, that's the most I would use in this program. Yeah, it's just a bunch of unnecessary. The only cool stuff is that's in here I had to pay for. So, alright, so these are all the effects. These are all the transitions. If you go all the way down to the bottom, these are effects that you could add to your voice, which I wouldn't use these either, because you gotta understand, Final Cut was created maybe like 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago. So most of these things in here are old. You could get way better versions in Capcut or any other newer platform. Now I don't want to sound like I'm bashing Final Cut, because it's still useful. I do all my projects on here, but it just needs a little upgrading. Alright, so these are all the effects. These are all the transitions. This is your timeline. How do you want to view your timeline? It could be smaller, because sometimes you might have stuff pile on top of each other like that, especially if you edit in like a music video or something. So this is how it would look if it wasn't small like that. You get me? And you edit like this sometimes when you're trying to match up the clips, which I usually match up clips using the sound. So say you're shooting different angles. Say you say a specific word. Here you press M to mark it, press V for visibility, and that's gonna make that clip invisible. And then say you mark this one too, where you say the same word. That's how you're gonna match up all the clips. Press V again, find the word that you said in this clip, press M again, V again to go to the next one, find the word M. So now all you're gonna do to match up all the clips is use this. All you're gonna do to match up all the clips is use this, and then match up all the arrows, and then all your files should be together. So if you're doing like a podcast or something like that, you're gonna need that. but it has to be super precise. So you're gonna go back to this, and as you can see, it's not as precise as you thought. So now you have to go back and really adjust it. And then you would just listen to everything at the same time, making sure it's not off. Alright, so transitions, effects, this is the timeline. Some of these you could, these arrows that you see, that's the audio. So these would, if I had the audio on it, it would show the audio. But if you want it without the audio, that's an option too. Scale is to make it bigger or smaller. Alright, so let's move on to up here. This is where you're gonna control some of your video settings. This is the colors. This is the sound. This is information about the specific files. So as I explained earlier in the course, 59.9, that's basically 60 frames, which is slow motion. So up here you're gonna see if the file is slow motion, if it's extra slow motion, if it's just regular. Alright, so, and I'm gonna show y'all a quick trick that a lot of people don't know. Let's say you shot it in 24, but you want to slow it down. You made a mistake. You can actually click the clip, go here, go to custom, say slow it down, say you want to slow it down by half, 50%. What you could do is go to video quality, optical flow. Before I do that, I'm gonna show y'all how it looks. Yeah, so this clip is actually already slow motion, so I can't use this example, but I'm just showing y'all. If y'all shot something, say on your phone or something, and it's not slow motion but you want it to be, you could just come here, video quality. After you slow it down, go to video quality, optical flow, and then it'll do its best. If it's a clip that's super like shaky, it'll do its best to get it back as much as possible, but the better the clip, the better it's gonna look. Alright, let's get back to it. So with the information, I went over the information with that. You don't really need to know all of this stuff. Sound. Alright. So this is, I was telling you about the 0 decibels earlier. So this is just to basically adjust the sound right there. So you can use this or you can use that. Loudness is literally to make your voice alright, so loudness is to make your voice louder. It has certain tools, like if you press this, it'll try to analyze it for you and adjust it. And then noise removal, if you got noise in your background, you could use this and you could adjust it how much you want to be removed. Hum removal, that's like what it suggests, just removing certain sounds in the background. Alright, so now to the colors. This is where a lot of people struggle. So I'm gonna show y'all a basic way how to color grade. You're probably not gonna shoot flat if you're a beginner videographer, but if you want the best quality, then I would suggest shooting flat. Alright, so this is a flat footage. As you can see, it's like super white. So this is my process how I color grade. First thing I do is I go to exposure, I lift the midtones a little bit, lift the highlights. Nobody taught me to do this. I just, I felt like it looked better when I do it like that. And then it doesn't have to be a specific number, but then you're gonna just look at the image and you'll kind of know. Then you bring the shadows down. Now the image starts to look more regular, like it starts to look more normal. So now the image starts to look more, like it's coming to life. So now with this is everything. Global means shadows, midtones, and highlights. I usually don't touch that one. Alright, so the shadows is the main one that's gonna bring the colors back into the image, but you don't want to take it out too far, make the image too dark. The reason I put these up is to contrast with this, because like say I kept it down here, now the image is gonna be super dark. So I put these up a little bit so when I put the shadows down, it's not too dark. So now you're gonna go to saturation and put each one of them up. And then when you go to color, you kind of adjust these colors to kind of get the best one. So this looks good already. This is how it look before. This is how it looks now. So that's kind of some basic color grading. Just adjust, like keep adjusting until you find the best result. So she has on this pink here, right? If you wanted to just adjust the pinks alone, you could click color board. So this is not the original one you were editing. This is a whole other one. You click right here, go to add color, and you can actually mask out her hair alone. It's kind of cool, like this is a cool effect. And then you could go to saturation, make the hair alone pink. Yeah, so but I would not recommend using just this. There's something else called LUTs. What you have to download is mlut. I think it's mlut.com. I will put a screenshot. You have to download mlut.com, then you could download LUTs, which are different presets. You do have to buy them. Some people, they sell them cheap. Maybe you could get them like 99 cents. Some of them are free. You just have to, and that's what I don't like about Capcut. I mean Final Cut. Why are you sending me all over the internet to go download random people's presets? Why don't you just have your own presets? Like, that's lazy to me. So, but anyways, that's how it is. Yeah, but as you can see, you could get by without using it, but that's gonna make your clips a little bit better. Alright, boom. I'm gonna show y'all another thing that I use to color grade. It's called Color Finale. Actually, you had to pay $100 to get this. It's like a little bit more professional than just the regular color grading. Alright, yeah, Final Cut got us spending a ton of money, y'all. But it's what I do for a living, so I gotta spend it. And if y'all think it's worth it, make the investment. Because Capcut, one thing I can say about Final Cut, it is better at color grading than Capcut. But Capcut does have presets that it comes with. Alright, so pretty much the same process, right? Pretty much the same process. These will be the shadows, just like how it is in here. It's the same thing. So these will be like the highlights, just like I did before, and then this will be the shadows. And same thing with the saturation. Put up the saturation on each one. The image is a little bright, so you can put down the highlights a little bit. And then here's the benefit. All the presets you get, you can choose from. You can choose from whichever one you like. There's also LUTs. a day after buy these again, on top of paying for the color finale, I had to buy the presets separately. So, that's annoying. But so when you select the preset, it's gonna be on 100%. So you wanna adjust that. So if it looks harsh, like it looks too much at first, that's fine. You could adjust it, bring it to like say 30-40%. Let's say you feel like the image is too yellow. Go to temperature. And you could adjust it from there. You could put the saturation up, the tint, if you want it to be like more purple, more green. Exposure is right here, contrast. As you can see, this has a lot more options to like color grade your image than just the regular color inspector. Alright, let me go into some other settings that Color Finale has. So you could adjust the individual colors, but I never use this. I never use that. This is what I do use. So anything that's blue in the image, you could adjust that by itself. Okay. This isn't the exact blue, that's why it's not changing like crazy. But let's use this to show y'all. There's a lot of yellow in the image, so when I change the yellow, you can see the difference. Luminosity is like how much of the yellow you want to use, so or take out. So you could basically adjust how strong you want the yellow to be. The hue is like there's certain colors that you're not gonna have access to. As you can see, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 colors. With the hue, you can kind of transform the yellow to a different hue, and then you start getting a bunch of different colors. So with yellow, you're gonna get like green, red. With green, you're gonna get yeah, so there's no green in the image, so that's not gonna affect anything. With the blue, you're gonna get like a purple or a lighter blue. There's just a lot of adjustments you can make. If y'all look right here, look. Yeah, so you have a lot of options to color grade your image. I will be dropping a lot more color graded tutorials in the course, so stay tuned for that. And if you need like one-on-one help, definitely contact me and I'll help you. But yeah, as you can see the difference, you can always go back and make more adjustments, like if you feel like it's too much. And the overall mix of all the edits you did, you could bring that down. So I feel like this right here at 87 looks better than if I brought it all the way to 100. So it's really up to you. And then once you color grade one, you don't have to do it for everyone. You just copy and paste. Let me show y'all another trick to kind of save you some time. You're gonna go to T for titles. There's something that I had to download and pay for again. It's called adjustment layers. So what you want to do is, with the adjustment layer, is whatever it covers, it applies the same effects. So this already has the I already copied the color effect, so I'm gonna just paste it in the adjustment layer. I never thought about this until now, but I guess it makes sense. There's a layer that adjusts all the footage to be the same. I never thought about that until now, I'm not gonna lie. So look, now I don't have to edit all of these clips because I already edited. Make sure it's not over the footage again, because we already edited this, so if we accidentally have some of it, then your footage is gonna look like that. So that's the thing, you gotta be extremely careful. Like, you have to adjust your timeline and make sure it's right there, because if even a small little piece is hanging over like that, you're gonna end up ruining your footage. That's why it might be safer to just copy and paste to each one, but you want to save time, so we don't have time for all that. If you don't have the adjustment layers, because that's not gonna come with the program, don't worry about it, just copy and paste. Alright, so boom, I'm just gonna copy all the colors. So that's the thing again, as you can see, this is way too dark. This was bright that I copied, so you gotta copy it to scenes that look the same. Once the scene changes, you can't use the same colors. You gotta do another set of colors and then copy that to all the other scenes that look the same. Alright. So yeah, since we in the titles, so we went over colors, we went over sound, we didn't go into video. Alright, so this is all the color grading we were doing. Let me go over opacity. Opacity is basically how transparent the image is. Right now it's on 100, so you can see the full image. If you put it to 50, then you can kind of see through it. If I was to put it over another clip, you can see. So you could adjust the opacity. Since it's on 0, you can't see the clip at all. So the more you put this up, the more the clip is gonna come back. Alright, so with blend mode, this is some different effects that you could use to kind of contrast the images. And I guess it, you know, depending on what you're doing, it's a cool look depending on. Hold on, this is kind of dope. A big part of editing too is just doing random things, just pressing on different things, and you never know, just put a clip over a clip, next thing you know, it kind of look cool like this, you know. So a lot of crazy edits I did were on accident. Yeah, so just play around with the files. See, that look kind of cool. Let me see. But yeah, just play around with them. If you edit in regular footage, you probably won't use this, but if you want like some effects type vibes, it could be kind of cool. Alright, moving on. If you don't want the you go back to normal. Alright. So transform, you're gonna see transform right here too. Transform right here. This is just to kind of adjust your image. So to scale it up, you make it small, you can make it bigger. And let me show y'all something too. If you want to kind of zoom in, what you could do is use these keyframes. So you started right here, right? So you want to zoom in here. You can scale it up and then press the keyframe. So now when you play it back, it zooms in. As you can see, this is moving. That means it's like zooming in. play it back again. Alright, y'all get the point. Alright, what else? We got crop. This is easy. It's just, cropping the image, whichever side you want to crop at. Stabilization. Stabilization is gonna take a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but it takes a while. So if you click stabilization and it's not stable right away, just leave it for like 10-15 minutes and then come back. As you can see, these little dots right here, that means like the computer is working on it. So you just come back. Rolling shutter, don't worry about that. Like, I've never used that effect, so don't worry about that. Don't use this either. This is kind of distort. It's to make the image like almost like a earthquake effect, kind of pointless if you ask me, so don't use that. Alright, so that's video. We went over colors, we went over sound, we went over information tab. Alright, titles. Now these are all the different titles. All you're gonna do is just I usually use the either blur or basic. For titles, Capcut is gonna 100% be better. The options, you might have to download new titles for Final Cut, because all the titles that's in all the titles are trash. I'm just saying like that. Like, there's nothing like super creative. Yeah, there's nothing super creative in here, so as y'all can see. But yeah. Alright, so under titles is generator. What's generator? These are basically backgrounds. I use this one a lot. I use this especially to keep myself organized sometimes. Like, say I'm editing a podcast and I don't want all the files to be jumbled. You kind of use this as like a separator. And you just press V to make it invisible. So say you want to go from this clip. You want to go from this clip to this clip. You get me? Or let's say you want to do an effect on the beat. That's how you do like a flashing effect. So yeah, that basically keeps you organized, because let's say you had all the clips like that. You cutting some of these, you cutting some of these, then all your clips gonna start falling into each other and kind of messing up. But if you keep it separate like that, then you're gonna have like a cleaner timeline. Alright. So yeah, we went over that's pretty much it. You can come up here, drag your files that you want to use. You can kind of select the files ahead of time. And just drag it, instead of like having that, go through the whole video and all that. This is what we call the spinning ball of death. You don't want to see this. That means the computer is moving a little slow. Sometimes you might gotta just exit out of Final Cut and just reopen it, because once you see that coming on often, Yeah, I think I pretty much covered everything. This is, I always have this on fit. I'm explaining why I have this on fit. Yeah, so you get the full screen. There are times where you need to see outside of the screen, and you can make it smaller than the actual screen. I'm gonna show you an example of why you would do that. Alright. There is a useful tool that I didn't tell y'all about. I know I said all the effects are terrible, but I actually use this one. It's the masking tool. There's a draw mask where you can mask out what you want to use. I'm gonna show y'all. Then you can feather it out. This is what, you know, when you're trying to put yourself in the same image, this is what people use. Like if you're trying to put yourself over here and then put yourself over here, this is what people use. I don't use the draw mask though. I usually use the shape mask. This tool is really helpful, for real. So you can be creative with this. But yeah, as you can see, this goes over my screen. So what you're gonna do is bring the screen smaller. That way you can have access to it. Yeah, delete that. I think I covered everything, y'all. Yeah, I pretty much covered everything in Final Cut. I don't think I'm missing anything. Yeah, so that's it for Final Cut, and I will be showing y'all Capcut next. Alright, y'all, so I showed y'all Final Cut. If you have any questions, post it in the community. Just make a post about it. Show yourself, edit in anything you got questions about. Just make a habit of posting it. I want to create a community where we could all interact. If somebody else besides me know how to edit something, then they could answer. You get what I'm saying? Like, we could all help each other grow. So alright, so now we in Capcut, right? We are in Capcut, and I'm gonna just use this clip. Alright, this is a music video I shot a couple days ago. But yeah, alright, so I'm gonna just go over Capcut for y'all. It's pretty much similar to what we just did in Final Cut, but I would say it has a lot more effects, a lot more you know, AI integration tools and stuff like that you could work with. But as you can see, you got the thing over here similar to Final Cut. You can zoom in on the timeline. It's almost the same thing. You got this to split. Let me see. It's a little different. The letters are a little different. So not B for blade, but C for cut. So you could cut wherever you want to cut. I think you could download this for free, but I got the pro version because I want all the effects and all that. So this is where all your media would be, all your video files. So you just drag your file right there in the timeline. Boom. And then, alright, what should we go over first? Okay, so basic scale. Remember I told y'all, if you want the clip smaller or larger than the screen, you can scale it. Stabilize enhance image, optical flow. Optical flow is basically like, as I was saying before, if it's not in slow motion and you slow it down, you can press optical flow to make it like a little bit smoother. That's the thing with CapCut, is it's always updating. So a lot of these I haven't even seen or tried yet. Remove background, mask. Alright, so with the mask tool, let me show y'all. Like I was saying before, the mask tool is basically allows you, like, if you ever seen a video where you got one person on this side and the same person on the other side, they're just masking out the image or masking out the top layer so it blends in seamlessly. But there's different effects that you could use. You could use it for. So this one has, instead of just a straight line that comes down, you could have different shapes, different effects and stuff like that. Alright. Let's see what else they got. Alright, so I know a lot of models gonna appreciate this. Alright, so I got this screenshot from the show I did the other day. Alright, so I got this screenshot from the show I did the other day. This is where I think CapCut really shines, and a lot of female content creators are gonna really appreciate it, because none of this is in Final Cut. None of this. You can literally smoothen out your face. See, it already detected her face. You can whiten the whole image if you wanted to, clear blemishes. Let's see, even, I guess this kind of even out the image. And the crazy thing is, you could do this in a video, like while you walking around and stuff like that. Smile lines, dark circles. Yeah, look at how it's like adjusting the skin tone in real time. Notice it's not adjusting anybody else's, just her, because it already detected her. That's crazy. You could adjust the warmth of just her skin. I don't think that's possible in the other programs. There's so many different things to adjust. And then you could just do her face alone. You can make it slimmer. Like, hopefully y'all not using all of these. Like, you could get carried away, but I'm just showing y'all. You could do your makeup. Man, it's crazy. You could do your makeup. Alright, so let's get out of that. Animations. Yeah, these are just some different effects you can use. Like I said, the effects that's in here way better than Final Cut. Wow, look at that. So, and what's crazy is animation is different from effects. So you got all of these animations. That's different from the effects up here. So you got a whole ton of other stuff that we didn't even look at. So all this is different from the actual effects. There's so much you can do. Like, it would take me a whole day to go through all this. Look, that's crazy. I love that it's not, the effects aren't corny. Like, it's not cringy like Final Cut and some other programs. Like they really put thought into creating all of these. And then y'all should be familiar with some of the Capcut effects. I would say just to make your project different, try to look for some of the ones that's new, that probably just got updated, that you haven't seen on social media. I haven't seen this. I wouldn't use it. I feel like it's too much, but yeah, just look for the ones that's not too common to apply to your image. But yeah, it's not really complicated. As y'all see, the different skin, as y'all can see the different effects. You could edit your face, your body. You got face presets. This is a speed ramp, so basically however fast you want the image to be, like ×2. The same thing as like 200. Or if you want to make it slow motion, it's the same thing. So if you shoot slow motion, which is like around 60 frames, you want to slow it down to 0.4 to get the slow motion effect. So it should work if I put it at 0.4. It's a little jittery, so that should, see, I didn't shoot it in 60 frames, that's the problem. But when you shoot your footage in 60 frames and you put it down to 0.4, you should be good on the slow motion. Alright, so yeah, this platform is really like straightforward. There's not much I feel like you have to really learn. You just have to play around with it, honestly. Alright, so for the color grading, you have auto adjust. Alright y'all, so this feature is actually crazy. We got the color matching tool, which should make your color grading a lot easier. So with this, all you have to do, click right here, select the frame that you want colored, press OK. Then you can actually import an image from your computer. Let's say it's this thumbnail right here. You see how it copies the whole color of the image? It doesn't look good, but I'm just showing y'all an example. That's crazy. Like for people that's not really too crazy with the color grading, you could literally go on a music video you like, or go on a movie you like, screenshot it, and then try to copy the colors. And it might not be perfect, but at least you got a starting point to where you could go ahead and start color correcting. You could adjust the intensity if you don't want it this yellow. You know what I mean? Color wheel. So you could do something with it. Alright, let's get back to it. So we went over video, speed, alright, so this is saying I need to add music before I apply the effect. So what I guess what it does is when you add the music, it kind of edits to the music, I guess. So yeah. Alright y'all, so if I show y'all all the features in Capcut, we'll be here all day. What I really want to show y'all is how to cut up your content, make it look good, throw it on YouTube, throw it on TikTok, start making money. You don't need to be learning face tracking and AI, uh, you know what I mean? Like all those unnecessary stuff right now. So we're gonna stick to the basics. Alright. So your media is where all your footage is gonna be at. The audio is, CapCut has its own audio, which is really good. This is gonna save you a lot of time. It's not bad. I do have to do some research if this is copywritten or not, if you could use it on YouTube. So I'll let y'all know before y'all use that text. All right, I was telling y'all, CapCut text is way better than Final Cut. Like I would actually export my projects from Final Cut, put it into CapCut just so I could use the text and then export it from there. Yeah, you have so many options. Look, you see how small this is? You're still going. Yeah, it's crazy how much options you got. Let's find something. Let's see. Let's call it Miami. I'm gonna show y'all. See, it already looks good. I'm gonna show y'all all the stuff you could do with this. Alright. Boom. You already got all these effects. Boom. It's already looking good, man. Hey. Boom. Let's see. The opacity is like, if you want it to be invisible, or how invisible do you want it? How visible do you want it to be? And you could actually have it fade in like this. Look. You can keyframe it, press the keyframe at 0, and as it comes in, bring the opacity up. And just like that, as you can see the keyframes right here. Yeah, we wouldn't make it that long, but I'm just showing y'all. Alright. Scale is how big you want to make it. You could adjust the thickness in the background. Adjust the whole background. I could honestly say, like, I think CapCut got too many effects. Like usually on the other platforms, it's always like it's not enough. I think CapCut got way too many. Like it's almost overwhelming. Look at this. It's never ending how much you can really do with something. And those aren't even the effects. That's fire. Yeah, so you just gotta play around with it, see which one you like. Yeah. Alright. Moving on. So the main things you're gonna be using is media, music. Maybe not music. Like I said, I would recommend using Artlist. I will have a code for my Artlist subscription if y'all wanna sign up. I've been using them for all of my YouTube music, and I found some really good music. Like, you could put in Afro beats, you could put in rap music, you could put in dancehall music, and there's real songs on there. So it's not just beats, there's real songs. And you could download actual footage. Like, say you want a drone shot of Miami, you could download that. So it's not just about music. Alright, so let's move on to effects. Effects are self-explanatory. You just gotta press the right button, the plus button, and drag it over your image. There's a never-ending list of effects that you could use, and it keeps updating. So even if you think you used everything, just check back in a couple days. Yeah, I wouldn't use these, y'all. I'm just showing y'all, like, there's so many effects, so many different things you can use it for. Alright, so let's go into transition. Give me, y'all, my computer moving a little slow. Alright. Alright, so for the transitions to work, it's not like the effects where you put it over the image. You gotta put it in between the image, like that. There you go. Yeah, so you literally just have to the good thing, it kind of gives you a preview on each one, how it's gonna look before. That way you don't have to click every single one. But yeah, another great thing with Capcut is you could actually use text to speech. Alright, so check out the captions portion over here. Let's say you're an artist or you're a YouTuber and you want to make a short, but you want it to like really pop, or it could be on TikTok. As you speak, these texts will come up. You don't even have to type them in. You get what I'm saying? So let's try to test it out real quick.
Photography. People are gonna watch my YouTube and they're gonna be like, man, I want to learn from him. So now I can start doing consultations. Like, you start about a certain topic, it's probably because you're an expert at it. There's other people in the world that.
Alright, y'all, so my computer's lagging a little bit, but as y'all can see, it's about, I'm gonna say 80% accurate. But the good thing is you can actually adjust it, because it's not just, look, it's generating the text as you speak. So if you say a specific line, you just change it. And it's crazy that it actually has the emojis, and it's like blinking for real. The emojis moving around, like this is how you grab people's attention on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, stuff like that. So it's really innovative. Look at this. You literally just have to spend the time and go through as many effects as possible, because it'll take a whole day for me to go through everything. All right. So the effects, the filters. Alright, so this is really important, y'all. When you make your full video, if you want to cut pieces of the video to put on Capcut, to put on TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Instagrams, they already have done templates built into Capcut, which is crazy. So it shows you different ideas. Hey. Alright, so we're gonna try that out. This is just coming up on my computer. It's kind of creepy. None of these people are real. As I said, this is always updating with new features and new AI stuff. I think that's the biggest difference with this and the other programs. Like, this just came out just with all the AI technology. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta consistently be using it and just trying out all the different features, and it gets really deep. Like you just be finding new things that you didn't know was in the program. So you just have to keep using it every single day, and I'm gonna keep using it every single time I find a new feature. I'm gonna update the group, so y'all can see what's available. But I appreciate you guys for checking out the course. It doesn't end here. I will continue to update with new videos, new posts, new things that I learned, and update y'all with my journey with starting my new YouTube channels. So y'all can see in real time everything that I'm doing and how y'all could try to copy me and copy some of my steps, especially with the live stream. I feel like that's what got my last channel to where it got to. So I need y'all to live stream every single day. It doesn't matter what y'all doing. Y'all could be cooking, y'all could be going out, getting ready. When you're out, you could be live streaming at an event. Those get a lot of views, you know what I mean? So only thing I will say with the live stream, make sure y'all stay safe. If it's a place that's obvious that the whole city is gonna know that you're at, don't live stream. You know what I'm saying? If you're in South Beach and it's obvious you're in South Beach, don't do it. Like, if you're on a public beach somewhere and nobody could guess, then you can live stream. But if it's an obvious spot, don't live stream, because you don't want nobody pulling up on you. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for checking out the course. We will continue to grow this community. Make sure y'all add y'all friends, tell them about this opportunity. You know what I mean? Like, we live in a day and age now where you could literally show your life and become rich. You know what I mean? This could pay all, even if you don't become rich, this could pay all of your bills just by live streaming, just by editing some videos every week. You get what I mean? So I've seen people go from literally 0 subscribers to 9 million. I've seen content change a lot of people's lives. So take it seriously. Don't just watch the videos and leave the chat. We will be updating the group with a lot more content, so stay tuned for more. Appreciate everybody again.